This is the November 10th, 2020 meeting of the Berlin Library Trustees. As a preliminary matter, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware other folks may be able to see you. Take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. This is Lynette Wheeler, Chair of the Library Trustees. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me prior to me calling the meeting to order. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Linda Yates.
Yes.
And Jean Mitchell is absent. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Bob Hodge.
Yes.
All right, with a quorum of trustees present, I call the meeting to order at 5:40 p.m. on Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. This is an open meeting of the library trustees being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Berlin website at townofberlin.com. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. This order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, provided reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. While no in-person attendance of members of the public is permitted, every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive recording of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. The standard public comment portion of the meeting will accommodate limited public comment. For this meeting, library trustees are convening using the Zoom platform as posted on the agenda, identifying how the public may join. The public is encouraged to follow along during this meeting using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Supporting materials that are available during the evening to the members of the library trustees can be made available to the public by request. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will invite each board member by name to provide any comment, question, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Trustees and speakers on the agenda, please remember to mute your phone or your computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with each other, please do so through me, taking care to identify yourself. To the extent that our technical capability allows, public comment will be permitted during the public comment portion of this meeting as follows. Attendees, phones, and other devices will be muted unless they raise their hand and are recognized by me to speak. I ask each member of the public who wishes to speak to identify their name, and I will afford each speaker time to ask a question or make a brief comment. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Whew. All right. First up on the agenda is to go over the previous meeting's minutes. First up, July 22nd. Do you have anything, Bob? Did you notice anything on the meeting minutes?
I did not. And I'm looking at the July right now.
Mm-hmm.
I also have the October 20th here.
Yep, we'll get to those ones after.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't see anything on the July one either. That was just a quick little mini meeting, I think.
It was.
So I will move to accept them as submitted.
Okay, I second it. I, Linda Yates, second it.
All right, a roll call vote to accept the minutes as written. Lynette Wheeler, Chair, I approve. Linda Yates.
I approve.
All right, moving on to the October 20th minutes. I did see one, it's just a tiny little typo.
Okay.
In the director's report, third thing down, all are working on the FLY 22 budget. I think it's just FY. Fiscal year, not
Okay.
LY.
And it's in the director's report. Which paragraph is it?
It's the third thing down. It says RH attended department head meeting on October 13th. All are working on the FLY 2022 budget, and it's just the FY.
Okay, so I'll change that and then repost it. No, I haven't posted it yet. So
No, what you'll do, you just change it and then put it on town government, because
Okay.
the way it's going to happen now is I'll after make sure that nobody else has anything to say about it, I'll move to accept them as amended versus accept as submitted, which then
Okay.
at that point you just get to do.
okay, so wait a minute. So we've already we approved the July ones
July one was approved as submitted.
as submitted, and then the October ones approved as amended. Okay.
Yep. Did you have any questions, comments about the October minutes, Bob?
I don't think so. I'm just looking through again quickly. No, it looks fine to me.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make that change before I post it.
Okay. I move to approve the October 20th minutes as amended.
I, Linda Yates, second.
All right, a roll call vote to approve as amended. Lynette Wheeler, approve. Linda Yates.
Approve.
All right, approved unanimously as amended. And we move on to the director's report.
Okay. Have you had a chance to read it?
Yes.
Okay. We had an exciting Saturday 2 weeks ago. We did have some work done on the boiler. We knew the heat wasn't working correctly.
Right.
The facilities did come and check it out, and they thought it was working fine. So, and I had to call them again, and eventually we got Northborough Oil here, and they replaced something called an aquastat. And everything seemed to be working fine until Saturday, when it was fortunately I happened to hear the water running just as we were getting ready to close up Saturday, and it was really flooding out a pipe at the top of the boiler. So, but Northborough came within the hour, and they were able to fix the problem.
Okay.
And the guy from Northborough was very good. The second guy, he explained everything that he did. So I alerted Dave and our custodian, Steve, to what was going on. And finally got the mess cleaned up. So we hopefully will be good to go when we ever get winter weather. We haven't obviously had to use the heat much this week at all. So
Yeah.
and then also on the same Saturday, our internet went down. The minute I came in, we had no internet. So it turned out we needed to have a modem replaced, the one we use with the network. We actually had two modems.
Right.
And so that took a while. We had to just go to doing things manually. So it's not like we're out of business, but it makes a lot of things difficult to do. But we got through it, and everything's back up and running fine now. I just wanted to mention that that fun week, fun Saturday. And we had the department head meeting this morning. The first half, probably 45 minutes or so, was all to do with budget. And you can view that on the town website. There was a recording made of it. if
Okay.
you have questions, and also all of the forms. So I'm just beginning to start to work on the FY22 budget. I've been thinking about it, but until we actually have the kickoff meeting to sort of get the parameters of what we're working with. So um, let's see, in the second half of the department head meetings, we go around the table. So everybody talks a little bit about what's going on in their department. So it's a way for us to know what's going on in town and with different departments. I'm told that the electrical box replacement, I mentioned that the last meeting as well,
Yep.
is imminent, is coming. And we're hoping that we won't get too much disruption in service when they're replacing it. They did take down a couple of trees at the library. I can't remember if I mentioned that in my last report, but in terms of the septic, that was another step.
Right.
One of the trees they had, we knew that it had to come down. The second one, they just took down, the one out by the road that's right up against the road. It appeared to be dead for quite a while, but I'm not sure why they chose now to take it down, probably just because they had some specialists come
They
in.
were here.
Yeah, they were
It's cheaper
really-
for them to do as many as you need them to do rather than have them come back again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I guess it was a money saving issue. So anyway, I asked about the trunk of the roots, if they were going to take that out, because it was seen, if you're doing a septic, that would be the issue, the roots as opposed to, so, but no one seemed to know the answer. So I think Evan Carloni, who did the design, will be able to tell us why that tree needed to come out and whether they need to take the stump out. So, but that's all down the road, since we'll be opening that process again in the spring sometime to get someone to actually do the septic design. Let's see. I've had some meetings online, our user council. Another one is coming up soon. We had a meeting about telecommunications. So this is the first year that we've used the CW Mars internet network connection. They made it free for us to use it. There was a cost attached for a long time. But since it's gone web-based.
I think Jean's coming in. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay.
I just get someone just popped up. Yes, no, maybe. Yep. All right, let me pull her up to the panel.
Where will I indicate that she's come in? Do I just put her as present and not bother, or?
No, you'll have to put in the minutes that, like at the top where you put when she can't, you can put next to her name, joined meeting late 5:53 p.m.
Okay,
because that will accommodate for why she didn't approve anything prior to that point.
okay,
All
thank
right.
you. Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Jean.
Hey,
Hey,
Hi, sorry, I'm having technology issues.
Oh, sorry.
no worries. We're just getting into things. Bob's in the middle of the director's report.
All right.
Yeah, didn't miss much. Did you? You didn't happen to have any problems with any of the minutes that she sent, right?
No,
Okay. So yeah, we're good. I'll just go from back. You can pick up where you left off, Bob.
Okay. You received my minutes, Jean?
The
yes,
director's report?
Okay. I mean, my director report.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so I was just telling Linda and Lynette regarding the building, we did have some issues with the oil burner, but they've been taken care of. We also had an issue with our internet connection. The CW Mars modem was replaced, so that's some recent news. Let's see. Oh, we did have a program, Ed the Wizard, performed at the library outside. It was well attended. it was kind of an iffy day. It was warm, but it started to sprinkle when he was nearly through. But
Date of that, what was the date of that, Bob?
that was the
The 24th. It's in the,
24th.
it's in his
Yeah,
report,
I didn't print out the report, so when was it?
the 24th.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, October 24th. And 30 people came to that, so that was great.
That's
Incredible.
fantastic.
Yeah. And I got to meet Ed the Wizard, so that was nice. He likes to call and say, "Hi, this is Ed the Wizard." Okay, this is Bob, the library director. He has a car with his insignia on the side, and he did a great job.
Awesome.
Yeah. The Girl Scouts, they're proceeding with this renovation that they're going to do. They've already purchased some of the materials. So we'll have to see about when we can get them in the building to do their thing. But we just needed to be sure, like, we're going to replace the table that's there. That's like almost like a child table. And one of the reasons they chose the table that's there is for handicapped accessibility, so that someone in a chair can maneuver their way. And so we had to make sure that it had the right specs. So the new table actually can open up and become larger, if we're having a meeting or something. And then the chairs will be normal sized chairs. So, but we're looking forward to, they're excited about doing it, and we're looking forward to a revamped area there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe have Sarah take before and after pictures.
Yes, we talked about doing that, and even posting a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and in terms of future programs, Sarah's been talking with Lisa, the 1870 person,
Yep.
who runs 1870, about doing some library programs there upstairs, where it's much easier to social distance. And so we're hoping to be able to do some things there upstairs that would be difficult to do in our limited space here in the library. So I'll keep you posted on that. We are planning to start that on November 16th with the story time, the regular Monday story time. It'll just be at a later hour. I guess the consensus was that it'd be better if it was held later.
Okay.
Whatever group that regularly comes to story time, we like to accommodate them with, people with children, that whatever works best for them. So we have been doing it at 10:30 in the morning for a while before the library was even officially open, but
Yeah.
that's been bumped up. So we'll see how that goes. Trying to be flexible. And let's see. Do you guys have any questions for me?
nope.
Okay. I'm still anxiously awaiting these new PCs that we're supposed to get with our updated Windows operating systems. So I think that's a really kind of critical thing for us. So I'm a little concerned about that, but I'm told that I think that some of the folks at the town offices have already gotten new PCs. So anyway, that's my report.
Do we
Unless you
have
a question.
any kind of time estimate on when you're going to start letting people inside?
I wish I did.
Or you just okay? Yeah. I just
I've
was.
been saying, yeah, I've been saying, I'm hoping that the first of the year. I'm just kind of weighing the benefits to being open for us, where, we could maybe have people coming in small numbers for limited time.
Yeah.
But most of our patrons are picking things up, and I mean, they would like to come in. It's nice to come in and browse
Right.
and
I agree.
whatever, but the advantages of that versus the uptick in cases of COVID seems like you just constantly have to weigh that up. So it's hard to plan
Right.
to say we're going to open on a specific date, especially where we seem to be going kind of backwards. We were making progress with it. And now with the schools going back and there being some issues there, I just don't know.
Have there been more cases in Berlin? I noticed that it went up a little bit, but I haven't looked recently.
Yes, there was a case, well, maybe Lynette could talk to that a little more.
There was
There was a case at the
confirmed,
Memorial
I guess
School.
there's a case at the elementary school. There was a case at Tohoto a couple weeks ago. One of the cafeteria workers tested positive, and then they closed just for a couple of days for the other cafeteria workers to be tested. Another cafeteria worker ended up positive, but the rest were not. So they were only closed for a week. They originally were going to be just closed Monday through Wednesday. Thursday, cohort A was going to go. Friday, cohort B was going to go. And then the following Monday, everything would return back to normal. And they ended up, because they found out Tuesday that the second cafeteria person had it, had tested positive. And she had no idea. Neither one of them, I guess, had any symptoms.
Wow.
It's probably more than I should have said. But
I was just curious about how that's affected town.
So, and I'm not sure even if those employees live in Berlin. So it might not have affected Berlin's number, but it affected our school system. And then we had a case at the elementary school, and there was considered 9 staff members to have been in close contact. But we haven't gotten another positive from that. So they are out this week. Cohort B kids go to school Thursday and Friday. So they are returning on the 19th. And then the cohort A kids are not returning until the 23rd. So cohort A is getting 2 full weeks off. And cohort B is getting just under 2 weeks off. But from that one case with the staff, the reason they had to close was because they had 9 staff that were considered to be in close contact.
I'm just going to mute for a second. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Okay. I mean, he keeps calling the library. He's a busy man.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I was going to ask him, maybe he can tell us, these other libraries that he's in touch with, that he's comparing us to, what they're doing. And how do you know, like, when the COVID cases are bad enough where it really wouldn't be safe to?
I think at this point, I think what they're going to have to do is people are going to, if they want to call, they have to make an appointment. And I think that we'll have to have like the what's it called? Screening questions done.
Mm-hmm.
Every patron that wants to come in, they're going to have to ask, do you or anyone in
Right,
your
but
have the symptoms?
right, but as far as when that happens, I think that's the.
I feel like it's not.
How do you know?
It's hard because it's like the schools. We just got a survey talking about the schools opening back up, and it's been floated around. This is not official at all, but it's been floated around that first of the year when the kids go back.
Everyone, I'm just going to excuse myself for 1 minute, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Okay.
It's all good. Can I mute him?
Yeah, I wonder how people in town are feeling about the library being closed. Because I think, people go to the grocery store, they're going to Lowe's, they're going to school, they're going to work. And it's kind of,
I would like to see people be able to just book an appointment and be able to go so that they have access, but it's limited.
Right.
I really think that that's been working good for a lot of places.
Yeah, I think they're trying to just keep in time with everybody around us too. Nobody wants to be the first library to do it and then be the first library to close because of it either.
Right. So are all the libraries still closed?
I think most of them are. Most of them are doing what he's doing curbside. I don't know of anyone that's open for browsing yet.
Okay.
So
we'll confirm that with him when he comes back.
Yeah, but I don't see it. I haven't heard of any library open for browsing. It's tough. I think, especially in the winter, I don't know, maybe it's me. I just feel like you'd use the library more this time of year because you're in more.
Right.
And it's great that, like, for the kids, Sarah's awesome because I know she put a thing out where you could just email her and say, I have an 11-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy. Give me 3 books for each of them. They like puppies. They like skateboarding. And she goes and she picks books, and it's been kind of fun. And kids like the surprise of it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's wonderful.
That's been good.
Yeah.
For us, it's a little bit harder. Like if you hear of a book you want to read, you can go on and reserve it and
Mhm.
put a hold on it. But
Mhm.
it's much more fun to
Mm.
go in and browse.
Mhm.
I feel bad because I know a lot of people use the library for the internet. And because I know someone who's like, I can't do anything. I don't have a computer and the library's closed.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people do rely on our technology.
Bob, you're muted.
If you're back, I muted you before you left.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, if they have wireless, they can connect outside the building. So
Yeah, I
within,
think it's a matter
there's
of
a
them
pretty
using
decent
it.
range. So we do have people, we have lots of people who use the wireless. But that's a good point about the people not being able to get into the library, because we could find a workaround, you know, to have people come in.
Maybe by
and
appointment.
Yeah, exactly. Use the
Yeah.
laptops on a limited, you know, for a limited time, and you know, just clean them down before and after. So, yeah, that's. I need to talk to the staff a little bit about how we can accommodate that.
Yeah.
But if you know people, Gene, specific people too, just let me know and we'll see what we can do to accommodate them. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I'm sure, Bob, too, you just like in discussing opening, are you, when patrons call to make an appointment, you'll be going through screening questions with them?
Yeah, what I wasn't planning to do a by appointment necessarily. What I was thinking we would do is just, you know, people would come to the library and they would just sign in. But if there's already people, you know, if there's already reached our max for people in the library, then they would have to wait.
Okay.
So, you know, and the time limits for each person would be, I don't know, 20 minutes. And then when that person left, the next person could come in. Now, in terms of if they're using things where they need to use a computer, it might, you know, take a little more time
Right.
to clean them. And then if they want to browse, you know, if they want to touch books, we'll have masks and gloves available for everyone when they do come in. But yeah, it's
So Bob, just to confirm that
yeah.
you don't know of any libraries in the area that are actually allowing people in to browse yet?
Yeah, there are.
Oh,
Yeah.
there are.
Yeah. Hudson is allowing people on a limited basis. I think they're still allowing people on a limited basis, but you know, their building's large and it was a very small number of people that they were allowing in.
Yeah, that's surprising to me because Hudson's numbers are so much higher than
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, they're 20,000 people population. So,
Yeah.
and Clinton is doing a similar thing. Bolton is doing something similar. Like I said, for us, I'm just trying to weigh up the advantages for us to be open. The majority of patrons are picking things up, you know, that they've requested. And
It sounds to me like the people who are the most negatively affected are the people that don't have computers and use the library for computer
yes,
access.
yeah.
That you
We have been
get books, you know, I
yeah.
mean, there is a
Yeah.
way to get books.
We have still been sending faxes, for example. You know, people will leave what they need faxed, and
Mhm.
we'll do it, and then we'll give them a confirmation when the fax is sent. So we continued that. So if you know anyone that needs to send a fax, we can certainly do that. We'll do everything we can to accommodate people. We just haven't figured out whether we're gonna have people coming into the building. I know that Margaret has been, she's hesitant, let's say, to have us allowing people in. But if we do, we just want to make sure we follow all the proper protocol. And the game is changing all the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Did they install any plexiglass or any
Yes.
kind of, okay,
we have plexiglass. It could be taller.
Yeah.
It could be if a really tall person came in. But yeah, we probably work with it, and we probably just have to lay out some sort of diagram for people to follow when they come in.
yep.
Yeah.
And who's Margaret?
The
Oh, I'm
town-
sorry. Margaret is our town administrator.
Okay, and you said that she's expressed concern about people coming in?
Yeah.
Probably because we just don't have a lot of square footage.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
tiny.
definitely see the,
I think she's just, I would say she's wants us to be very cautious and follow the protocol. That's more or less how she expressed it.
Mhm.
Um,
It would seem to me that if we let people in to use the computers, then the people who want to come in and browse are going to say, well, you're letting people in to use the computers. Why can't you let
Mhm.
people in to browse? So it's like once you start to let people in,
right. Well,
Yeah.
if we
like,
could find a
you
way
open or you're
to,
closed, you know?
yeah, if we could find a way to, we have laptop, we could use the laptop outside, and then just return it. I did get a new printer just last week for the children's room, a color printer, and that has wireless connectivity, so people could print things from their phone. Sometimes people just simply need to print something out, or they need to use the internet. A lot of the time, it's people who either don't have a computer, or their computer, like they just moved and it's not accessible, or they're just passing through town and it's an emergency situation and they just need to print something. That's a lot of our patron usage of the computers. And yeah, that is a big drawback. You're right about that. As far as not, allowing the public in.
Mm.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe we can find a way.
Yeah, I mean, I know just from my own personal experience, where the moratorium on foreclosure and people's, evictions and stuff have been lifted. So you never know when someone's in a situation where they might not have a computer or it broke and they really need to, type something up or.
Yeah, I definitely would encourage people to, if it's something that we can do for them, we could do it that way. Sometimes a person just needs some form printed out
Mhm.
during the tax season. We're often printing forms that the IRS never sends forms out anymore.
Yep.
We do get forms from the state, but it could be any scenario where, we may be able to do what they need to do for them, maybe. But we'll do anything we can to accommodate them. We're just having to figure out a good way to have people in the building. But if we do decide to go that way, and I definitely want your input as to whether we should, but then I would say that would be very limited. If there's 2 staff here and you have 2 or 3 other people, that's almost as many as you can have and maintain a 6-foot difference,
Yeah.
distance.
I don't know,
I
maybe.
know you're all familiar with the layout of the library, and
Oh, yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's if you have a handful of people in here, it can feel kind of crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be the thing that would say to us, okay, we can open now? Like what?
I think maybe the first step in that should be by appointment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
I
people are
agree.
calling. People can call and say, "Oh, I'd like to come in Tuesday afternoon," and you can let them know what time they can come and go over. I think they should be asked the screening questions, like when I take my kid to the doctor, the dentist,
Yeah,
anything. They're asking, do you or anyone in your household have symptoms, cough, cold, fever,
Right.
and just ask them. If they say yes to any of the screening questions, which you can get the typical screening questions online. If they say
right.
yes to any of them, then obviously you ask them to wait to come
Yeah,
in. But if they're
right.
answering no to them, then they should come in with a mask and, like you said, gloves if they're going to be touching stuff. Which kind of, when you go to browse, you're going to pick up a book to read it. Read the back or inside cover and then put it back.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I can talk with our other neighbors and see how what they're doing is going for them. Um, and
So
then I
Hudson,
can
Clinton, and Bolton.
Clinton and Bolton and Hudson, it would be our nearest neighbors, and also Northborough that we do share patrons with. So some of the patrons who can't use our library can go and use a computer possibly in Clinton or Hudson. Um, so that, because we're part of a nearly statewide system, but we're definitely part of our own, we're in the largest library network. Um, you can use any other town's library. As
yeah,
long as we keep doing the things that we need to do to maintain our certification, then we'll be part of this network, and that's the strength of it. Is we all try to just accommodate. Everyone is kind of our patron, not just people from Berlin. But
yeah.
anyway, but I will research that more.
So
And
Bob, just for the minute, you're going to research with these other libraries to
How
see
it's
how
going for
how it's
yes,
going, right?
yeah. So I can report back to you on exactly how they've done it, and maybe have some feedback about how it's worked for them. What's worked well, what hasn't worked.
Mhm.
Um,
And maybe you're
But
right.
there are still many libraries that are in the same curbside situation that we're in, and they're not open at all.
Yeah.
But I can look at what our closest neighbors are doing, and maybe even a little beyond that.
I wonder too, smaller libraries, like maybe is West Boylston's library, Boylston's library fairly small, or
Yeah.
I'm thinking about,
The last time I checked, they weren't open. They were doing what we're doing.
yeah. I
But
mean,
like I said, these things are changing on a day, on a pretty regular basis.
mm,
Um, so I think they're doing what we're doing, just trying to accommodate everybody that they can. But the
mhm,
building isn't open to the public.
mhm.
Um, just one more quick thing on the director's report before we move on from that. The library friends,
Yes,
did they meet for their fundraising or they had?
yes. Well, they met. I met with them on the 4th, and a couple of things that they decided is they have over $3,000 in their treasury. So they decided that they weren't going to send out renewals this year.
Okay.
So they felt like it's kind of hard times for people, and they didn't want to.
Yeah.
And they're also weighing up the fact that the library hasn't done the number of programs we usually do, which they help to fund.
Right.
And so, and then the book sales, we had a few ideas about how to do one, but they decided that they weren't worth the kind of effort. The friends have limited numbers, and limited numbers of friends that can actually do the physical, actually show up. I mean, we have over 50 friends, which is a good number for a small town. But then you need people who are active, and so we're still trying to figure out a good way to do a book sale. They are doing a fundraiser with the holiday greens,
Yeah.
and we have
I
we'll
saw
have
that.
those on sale in different locations
I saw that
during the
they're
holiday.
at Holiday Farm. on 62.
Yes, Holiday Farm is
She
helping out.
posted, she goes, we're gonna have blah 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 from the Berlin Library Trustees, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm
Well,
good friends with Sue, and I
yeah,
messaged
that's,
her. I'm like, are you
that's,
sure?
a few of the friends have a good relationship with them, and so they've
Yeah, she
agreed to.
corrected it. She went on and edited the post on Facebook and changed it. I was like, I just want to give credit where credit is due.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
if it's the friends get the credit. It's not us. That's not what we
Yes.
do.
Yeah,
So
it's
for the
been a
minutes-
really good.
Oh, sorry.
So go ahead, Linda.
So for the minutes on the book sale, have they decided not to hold a book sale
They're
or
not having a book sale this
not
fall.
having a
No.
book sale? And then the holiday greens is December.
It's at local businesses.
Yeah, the first week of December was the plan, I believe, to begin selling them.
And where are they going to sell them?
Well, Holiday Farm, we're going to sell them here at the library. We'll have them outside where we do the curbside rather than inside. So we'll just put some out there, and we'll get the word out that we're selling them as a fundraiser.
Okay.
And we'll just have a jar there. You know, they usually put a price on them.
Okay.
And they were going to try to sell them at the town meeting, which is the special town meeting.
Oh,
They were going to look into ways to try to sell them there, but that has been postponed indefinitely.
Yep.
okay.
All right. Anybody have anything else about the director's report?
No,
Nope.
All right. I move to accept the director's report as submitted.
I second Jean Mitchell.
All right. A roll call vote to accept the report as submitted. Lynette Wheeler, I accept. Jean Mitchell,
I accept.
Linda Yates.
I accept.
All right. Accepted unanimously. And we move on to the financial report. Any questions from anyone?
I don't have any questions.
I did move we spoke last time about the periodicals,
Yep,
Yep.
which I had placed in the children's category.
I see that.
So I did move that back to adult.
Perfect. Okay.
Other than that, so far so good. We've been having the library pages, we're trying to get them closer to the amount of hours that they would have normally worked.
Mhm.
So we did have 2 of them in last week working, and but I don't think we're going to get. They're not going to get the hours, not that they would normally get in normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been good that they've been able to come in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm already. I don't have much to say about this month's. Everything's pretty much out of the ordinary, unless you have
Yeah.
any questions. So I'm obviously after today's budget meeting, beginning to think about how we're gonna make it next year, even though we're just 4 months into this year. But time flies.
It does. All right. If everybody's good with the financial report, I will move to accept it as submitted.
Linda Yates, second.
All right. A roll call vote to accept the report as submitted. Lynette Wheeler, I accept it. Linda Yates,
I accept.
Jean Mitchell.
I accept.
All right. Accepted unanimously as submitted. And old business, I think we talked about the septic update during your director's report. So I don't know that if you have anything else to add to that.
Nope. It looks like we're made some progress in terms of getting the new electrical box. I mean, I don't know when they're going to do it, but I've been told that it's coming soon.
Okay.
They can take the tree out that they were going to take out. So they seem to be aware. I noticed that the select board is doing a regular column in the Clinton item. And they did mention our septic as one of their priorities for next year.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and let's see. Well, we'll just have to see how things work out with the septic in terms of putting it back out to bid. I guess the feeling was that we'd get a better response in the spring.
Okay.
So,
I don't
it's
know.
been a long haul.
I'd almost like to see the bids go out before the spring so that it could be started in the spring.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact timetable is, but we could check with Margaret to see.
Because I feel like if you wait till the spring, then it's not going to get
Right.
done till the summer. But if we put the bids out at the beginning of the year, January, February, maybe we get.
Yeah, it was pretty discouraging that we had 7 people do the site visit and only 2 bid, and both of the bids were not good
Right. They were both correct.
and they weren't complete. And so it was almost
Well, I
like
think they were, I think too, if I remember correctly, most of the bids didn't happen because of the timetable. And now the timetable has been extended.
right.
I have a better option for more bids.
Hmm.
But I
Who
think
controls when the bids go out?
Margaret.
That's town administrator is now the person doing that.
Can we ask about that?
Sure.
Because I think that's a good idea. If we can get
Yeah,
it.
they go out. They go out on the. They go out in the central register with the whole state, so anyone in the state can bid on it.
I think maybe at the December department head meeting, if you get the chance to mention that the trustees would like to see the bids
Sure.
sent out at the beginning of the year for hopeful progress in the spring versus sending bids out in the spring.
Yeah, and there may be a specific reason why
Right.
she's
Yeah.
decided to do it. Then I don't know. So
And if at that point when you discuss it with her, if she has a reasoning, great. We'd love
Yeah.
to hear it.
Yep. I mean, I think it's worth asking for sure.
yeah, I don't know if it's a kind of job they would necessarily want to do in the wintertime, but
Oh no, they won't want to do it now, but the spring should be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, doing the
Yeah.
bidding though in the winter when they can't work anyway, you know?
Right. And you'll
Yeah.
be the first on their books too. You know what I
Right.
mean?
yeah. Well, I think part of that also does involve the site visit. It's mandatory that they come and look at the site and
Yeah.
have opportunity to ask questions.
Yep.
So I don't know how the winter would affect that or.
Depending on if there's snow or not, they could probably.
Right.
Yeah, even if there is snow, you're going to be looking at the same thing. You're either looking at a white ground or you're looking at grass.
You're looking at, primarily, I would think they're looking at the actual design.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're going to look at the plans. They're going to come out and see
See the
exactly
plan.
where the plan fits in the yard.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will matter if there's a little bit of snow on the ground.
Right.
Yeah,
I could be totally wrong.
me too.
I
don't know.
Be really hopeful.
As much as I've talked about septic over the last couple of years, I still don't know that much about it.
I know, it's crazy. All right, I think, and in moving on to new business, I think we talked the opening update to death already during the director's report.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the best thing I can do right now is just get a report back about how things are working out.
Yeah, get a
The
report back.
libraries that are open. Yeah.
Talk to Margaret about, if the other libraries come back and they say things are going well, it's under control, you could talk to
I'm
Margaret.
also curious to talk to Boylston and find out, why
Yeah.
they're not open. And I'm thinking it's similar to us where they just don't have the space.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to identify other small libraries. I mean, I would think like in Western Massachusetts, there's
They're
probably
all,
really small.
I can tell you right now that most of them are closed and don't have any plans to open right away.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think
Not
that
fully open. I
that
mean, their
information-
building is closed, but they're doing everything else that they possibly can
Right.
without allowing people in. Yeah.
But my point is that
Yep.
information would be helpful to the people
Sure.
in the town. Because
Yeah.
they might say, well, Hudson's open, well, Hudson's big, well, but if we said we've looked at other towns that have small libraries of our size and none of them are open because it's just too hard to try to do it
Right.
and be
Wow.
socially distant and everything, then at least, you know, we've done our due diligence to.
I do get a lot of feedback
Respond
from the
to that.
patrons because we do talk about opening, and
Mm,
for the most part, I've only had one say you should be open, and the others, for the most part, are just agree that it's not a good time to reopen because
I've
they
had
can
a
see
couple.
they're following what's going on. I mean, there's so much information on COVID. You can look at the maps, you can see, the rising cases and so forth. So, and
Yeah.
going into winter isn't really a good time because we can't have our windows open or just, get outside more.
Well, that's the
So,
other thing too, right? Don't you have to have some kind of air circulation?
yeah.
yeah, I mean, do you have air conditioning, but not central, right?
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, because
Yeah.
from what I understand, and I'm no expert, but from what I understand, normal air exchange that you would have in most modern buildings that have
Yes.
HVAC and so forth, it
Yeah.
has to be double that.
Right. That's
Double.
very important.
That's
Yeah.
something we definitely don't have.
That's important consideration.
Yeah, so,
Um,
and I don't know how you access that kind of information to have somebody come and say,
Yeah.
geez, we've looked at the Berlin Library and they don't even have central air.
Right.
In the winter time, especially, there's no windows open. You can't move air around.
Right. I
It's-
get scolded when I open the windows by the facilities people because of, but I mean, it's important to get fresh air in the building.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the last few days, I've had every window in the place open, just mainly because it's been warm, but just to get the, air circulation,
Yeah.
get some fresh air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I think that's part of the problem.
yeah.
It's the air circulation. It's not even, it's also the close proximity.
Right.
It's also the air circulation.
Right.
That's the problem.
Well, I will go and talk to my fellow library directors and see. I've done quite a few Zoom calls with people, but it's been a while since I talked to just our immediate neighbors. So I will go ahead and do that. And we do get reports from the state all the time. I can forward some of those to you.
Okay.
Okay, you'll forward what now? I'm going to put that in the minutes.
The MBLC sends out a regular thing, probably once a month, and it's just an update on everything going on. Not
So-
just COVID, but a lot of it's
You can just-
talking about
You
COVID.
could just say MBLC updates.
Yes,
The
I
update.
forget what it's called. It's like a type of a newsletter.
Okay, good, thanks.
Okay.
Are
So
you all on the trustees listserv at this point?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I'll still forward that to anything that looks important to you, just in case you don't see it or get it.
yeah.
I'm not on a listserv.
Okay. You can sign up on it. Did you go to the orientation?
I did, but I didn't sign up.
Oh, okay.
I'm making a note. Thanks. Yep.
All right. So moving on to trustee concerns. I didn't have any at the beginning, so it wasn't in the agenda. But just when we were speaking earlier about the budget, you mentioned that the trustees need to approve it.
Yes.
When do we need to do that? And
It's due on November 30th.
okay.
So I will contact, you have to approve it as chairman, Lynette. You have to sign it.
Okay.
So I can go over with all of you. Well, I guess we won't be meeting again until December is
Yeah.
the plan.
Yeah, I can ask.
I can go over it with all of you now, but I will fill you in on the process and what I've done, Lynette, so
Okay.
that you know what you're signing, basically.
Okay. So if we need to approve it before the 30th, do you want to go over it with us now briefly for us to approve it, or should we make another meeting just for that?
We could if you'd like to do that.
Yeah, I
I
think
think-
That might be a good idea.
I think we
The
have,
30th is a Monday, and then the week before is Thanksgiving.
let me just
But-
double check real quick. I just want to check my email from Mary and make sure we're not going over on time. Because I know that someone else uses the channels, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Uh,
So
this is to go over, you've
Yeah,
already,
so the way the budget process works, just kind of quickly, is there's one form that we use to do the wages, the personnel.
Mhm.
So that's the primary thing. And then the spreadsheet that you look at when I give my report, everything on the budget is compared to the previous year.
okay.
So we have last year's budget and then we have this year's, and we break it down by a lot of these categories so that people can, justify the spending on what you're spending it on. And then there's a separate form where we break it down into just what are your expenses and what are your wages. So they just have the number that's in this. So they're looking for the amount of money that the town's going to be asked to vote on to be appropriated. And then we have the additional funds, some of which we use every year for various things. So that's also included. So on the one hand, it's pretty simple, but on the other hand, it's, just trying to crunch everything and make sure we get appropriated the correct amount. And then with all the shortfalls in the state money and a lot of uncertainty, that just makes it a little more difficult. So
All right.
we just do the best we can. And once I get all the figures in the spreadsheet, I can send it to you, and so you can see how it's done. But we have our own spreadsheet that we use to do this comparison thing. And then they have their forms that they need that are very standard, that they like everybody use the same form for. So
All right. Yeah, I didn't remember the whole board ever approving the budget. I don't know, Jean, if
yeah, it's just a chairman that signs it. So
Okay.
usually just a chairman will come in and we'll
So-
go over it a little bit, and then
Okay,
I'll
so-
talk about it in the next meeting.
So it's not something that we need to approve as a board.
No, just the chairman has to sign it.
Okay.
So,
All right. So yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Anybody have any other questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Nope.
All right. Our next meeting will be December 8th at 5:30, if that works for everyone, our typical second Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now make sure my laptop is charged and my Wi-Fi is actually plugged in.
that helps.
Yeah.
It's all good. Technology is wonderful when it works.
Yes.
All right. And then I will move to adjourn the meeting.
Jean Mitchell, I second.
All right. A roll call vote to adjourn. Lynette Wheeler, I approve. Linda Yates,
I approve.
Jean Mitchell.
I approve.
All right. Meeting is adjourned at 6:38 p.m.